Hello, St. Helena Primary students. I wanted to let you know that March is Women's History Month. Did you already know that? That is an extra special time where we can spend even more time celebrating women in our lives and in the world. So, to celebrate Women's History Month, I'm going to read you a true story called Shark Lady. The title of the book is Shark Lady: The True Story of How Eugene Clark Became the Ocean's Most Fearless Scientist. So, this is a true story. It is fiction, but it's based on a real person. Written by Jess Keating and illustrations by Marta Alvarez Miguenes. Here we go. Shark Lady. It was Saturday, and Eugene wanted to stay at the aquarium forever. She wanted to smell the damp, salty air and stare at the glittery rainbow of fish. She wanted to keep watching her favorite animals, the sharks. Eugene pretended she was walking on the bottom of the sea. What would it be like to swim with her sharks, to breathe underwater gills of her own? More than anything, she wanted to find out. When the summer came, Eugene's mother took her to swim at the beach in Atlantic City. Stuffing sticky gum into her ears to keep the water out, Eugene dove down, down, down. The salt stung her eyes, but she didn't want to miss a single fish. Constellations of sea stars speckled the pebbled sand. She imagined a silvery fin standing strong on her back, slicing through the ocean current. To others, sharks were ugly and scary, but Eugene knew they were beautiful. As she glided through the cool water, she wished everyone could see sharks through her eyes. But the sharks were only in her mind for now. Eugene decided to learn everything she could about them. This time, so Eugene dove, this time into books. Whale sharks, nurse sharks, tiger sharks, lemon sharks. Eugene wanted to know about them all. She also joined the Queens County Aquarium Society as its youngest member. Eugene's notebooks filled with sharks. They swam in her daydreams and on the margins of her page. At home, Eugene's mother surprised her with an aquarium of her own. A 15-gallon tank was much too small for sharks, but Eugene saved her allowance to buy guppies, clownfish, and coral red snails. It felt as big as an ocean in her room. Their small apartment became an aquarium, a laboratory, and a sanctuary. As she grew older, many were still telling Eugene what to do. Forget those sharks. Be a secretary. Be a housewife. Eugene wanted to study zoology, but some of her professors thought women weren't smart enough to be scientists or brave enough to explore the oceans. And they said sharks were mindless monsters. Eugene knew better. Her dream was as big as a whale shark. So again, Eugene dove. She plunged into every course she could. Her laboratory became her home. From sunrise to sunset, she studied how fish grow, how they behave, and how they were put together, both inside and out. Despite all of the people who didn't believe in her, Eugene was becoming one of the smartest students in her field. Even after she earned her degree, many still doubted her. But Eugene's work was just beginning. Eager to make discoveries of her own, Eugene finally dove into the open ocean. In the Red Sea, Eugene collected hundreds of fish, including 3 new species that had not been discovered before: the Red Sea sand diver, the Barrelzenia pipefish, and the volcano tripplefin. So she discovered these fish. On a research mission exploring the Palau Islands, Eugene was diving alone when she encountered her first ever wild shark. She wasn't afraid. Instead, she thought it was beautiful. In Isla Mujeres, she dispelled the myth that sharks must keep moving to stay alive when she swam through dark caves, still and silent, full of resting sharks. Eugene's daring heart grew bolder with each dive. Soon they began to call her Shark Lady. Eugene had proven she was smart enough to be a scientist and brave enough to explore the oceans. As her courage grew, she began to love and understand her beloved sharks more and more. But she never forgot many still believe that sharks were mindless killers. Because of their scary reputations, humans were hunting sharks all over the world. Eugene knew that sharks weren't stupid or mean. She was determined to prove everyone wrong. Eugene fished through her mind and devised a brilliant experiment. Could she train a shark the way a person trains a dog? Were sharks much smarter than anyone knew? They were. Eugene was the first scientist in the world to train sharks and even learned they could remember their training for at least 2 months after. Sharks were not mindless killers. Sharks were beautiful. Sharks were smart. They deserved to be studied, protected, and loved. And Eugene's dream was now a dream come true. So this is some information about sharks. It's called Shark Bites. It's little different information. And this is a timeline of Eugene's life. She was born May 4th, 1922. This timeline talks about where she went to college and what she studied. She earned a PhD in zoology. Did you know that when you go to college, if you're interested in studying and learning about animals, you can choose to study zoology? So, this story is to help us celebrate Women's History Month and remember you can be anything you want when you grow up. And don't let anyone tell you you can't. Thank you for listening.